This is the NA Happy Hour.
Hello, Joaquin. How are you?
How you doing?
Very good, very good. Thanks for joining us. Sorry about the mix-up.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. So you guys are in Dublin, no?
I'm in Dublin in Ireland, and Chris is in Baltimore in Maryland.
Nice.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get you both on here, because I know that there's a way to do that. Ah, there you go. Okay, I see you both now.
Awesome.
Excellent. So yeah, thanks for joining us, man. So where are you based yourself? You're based in Florida, is it?
Yeah, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty down here right now.
I'd imagine so. It's miserable and wet here in Dublin at the minute.
Isn't it always though?
Yeah, for about 340 days of the year.
Right.
Yeah, we get a nice dry week around mid-July.
Right. So what's going on, guys?
Not much, no. So we just the whole point of the podcast is we're just trying to connect, and not like people who drink NA beers or don't drink around the world and get them together. And one area we always talk about is kind of difficult for non-drinkers or people who are in recovery is dating, because you know yourself, alcohol is such a you meet, it's such a big part of socializing, and chatting to somebody in a club or a pub or a bar, and just a lot of people, I think it's kind of difficult when you take that out of the equation,
That's right.
So this is why we were doing a bit of research, and we stumbled upon the app, and we said, why not hear from the man himself? So
yeah, no, listen, I'm glad you guys are wanting to talk about this, because it's such a taboo discussion, really, especially for people who are in recovery. Even it's something that we don't get to really talk about in meetings or anything like that. But aside from that, if you're not in recovery and you don't drink, when you go to a bar and you're like, I don't drink, everybody looks at you like you're some sort of a freak, So
absolutely.
So we have both. I guess it's for people that don't drink just because they want a healthier lifestyle, or maybe it's their religious beliefs or whatever. And then you have people who are in recovery who cannot drink because it's going to be a shitstorm. So yeah, so where are we supposed to go?
Exactly.
Where are we supposed to go? And that's been kind of the premise behind the app is that right there, with my experience with working with a lot of men who are in recovery, who have their lives back, they're working, they are normal in every single possible way. The question is always, so if I go on a date and we go to a restaurant or a bar, what do I do? When do I say, hey, I can't have a drink because I'm an alcoholic, or I just don't drink? Like, when do you say that? Because that might be a deal breaker, and it's kind of not fair. If you kind of if you kind of hide something like that, especially with people who are young, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, I mean, I don't know that the 60s crowd, I don't know if that's a deal breaker or not, but I know that in 20s, 30s, and 40s and 50s, I mean, it's like, yeah. So when do you do that? When do you disclose that? Because it's the same thing also, like with maybe any political views or any social views or religious views, So when is the right time? And so the point of the app was to kind of take that away. We already know that's it. We just took that off the table. And it just makes it a lot easier, because there's a lot of anxiety that comes from that question. that's the whole point of the CASL app, the Clean and Sober Love dating app, is that we take away the anxiety and the insecurity that one would have.
Absolutely. And you obviously got the idea from your own experiences in dating, or may I ask?
So here's what it is. I am in recovery and I've been sober now for 8.5 years. When I came out of treatment, I have my wife, my kids and everything like that. But I was sitting at home and I was watching TV, and this commercial for a dating website for farmers only came on.
Right, right.
And I was like, man, that's so strange, like I wonder if there's anything like that for people like me. Not that I was looking, just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, I did a little investigating, and what I found was, so you can imagine that 8 years ago, the apps thing wasn't really like a thing. So I looked at uh, websites that were for dating for people in recovery, and they were really like old and outdated. I mean, they looked like they were from the prehistoric internet age, and so I bought up a lot of different domain names. I just kind of like, in my mind, I was like, man, I'm gonna do this and whatnot. But then I kind of parked it. I have other businesses and whatnot, so I didn't really do anything with it until I really started to work with a lot of men. After we got through some of the milestones, like building character and communication, and any assets or liabilities that one might have, then they were ready to date, and the question would come up, so hey man, so when do I tell her that I'm an alcoholic? um, and I was like, man, I'm not really versed in that. I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, I'm kind of old school. I go out and I dance, and I had no problem, dating. Uh, but that was a different time, I think. Um, and so, especially with what's happening now around the world with the virus and everything, where are you supposed to go? You know what I mean? So, like, when I was sponsoring and mentoring a lot of men, this is kind of where it all came up, and I I have that story where um our app was built, or we came up with the idea on a napkin. It was me and another one of my sponsees, somebody that I mentor, who was um, who understood the app dating world very well. He was well versed in all of the major ones, and so he calls me one day and he's like, "Hey man, I'm on this dating app and I'm gonna go meet the girl. When do I tell her that I'm an alcoholic?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." And I said, "Man, a couple of years ago, man, I had this great idea for a dating website." And he goes, "Well, the only thing that makes sense now is dating app." And I was like, "Okay, well, what does that look like?" And we kind of just took off with it on a napkin, like I said. He helped with all the functionality. He took a lot of the parts from other dating apps that made sense. The swipe
Mm-hmm.
feature and the geo tracking elements, being able to describe who you are through your profile and all of that. And then we wanted to be all inclusive, so we have the ability for all demographics, right? Gay, straight, trans, you name it. Everybody should be able to date. I mean, so we wanted to make sure that that was going to be something that was easy, and that, again, we took away the fear of being who you are. You know,
Yeah. And how many users do you guys have? Or
So we have currently around the world 30,000 installs.
Oh, wow.
At any given moment, I mean, there's got to be, 50, 60 people on the app, throughout the day, 24 hours, like there's always people on it, searching. Um, we rolled out the video chat feature back, I want to say in June of last year when Corona was a thing, and we didn't see an end in sight. We figured that it would really make sense, um, and not only just because of the virus, but I mean in dating in general.
Hmm.
Being catfished is a thing, right? So it's a way for you to kind of just meet somebody this way, the way we are right now, and be able to have a conversation to make sure that it even makes sense, right? Um, I think that it's important, and especially with our platform, that we're teaching people how to date in a way that makes sense, so that you don't waste time, energy, and resources. So, you know, I think that the video chat is an amazing tool that we've been able to roll out, and it's been used. We get a lot of positive feedback from it. So, yeah.
Excellent. And it works. How does it work? Is in essentially, you make a profile. Would it be, say, so I don't want to say the name of another app, but say a well-known dating app where, and you basically swipe, and if it matches, you can communicate. Is it or?
Yeah, so let's say you download the app, right?
Yeah.
You went on the App Store, you went on the Google Play Store for the Android, and you downloaded the app. So you're going to be prompted to start your profile. So you're gonna put up your pictures. You're gonna tell us who you are, your interest. There's a lot of different toggles that and a drop down menu to help you with any interest that may not be at the top of your mind. And once you've completed your profile and you agreed that you are 18 years of age and or older, um, you're welcome to start dating. So what'll happen is that you can, on your settings, you can set it to as close to um, 5 miles away or 5,000 miles away, whatever you are looking for. So it's based more on the geo tracking metrics, right? So based on how close you are, you can see people in within your proximity, and then if you like someone, you can like them. You swipe right, or you can hit the little heart, and then they'll get a push notification that will let them know that someone likes them. Once they see that, and if they like you back, they'll hit their like and or heart, and it'll be a match, and then you guys can start chatting. So it's I mean, look, it's very easy. A lot of other dating apps use algorithms to match people up.
Mm.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it maybe when we get bigger, maybe that'll be a thing. I don't know. I mean, again, it's something that we've talked about back and forth. I don't. I just I don't love the idea of an algorithm kind of choosing for me. You know what I mean? So that's the only. Um, I don't know. That's the dissonance that I find is I just don't want. Uh,
You want it to be
I
more
hate the.
organic.
I like the organic thing more. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's an important um, aspect, especially when going into something that's based around emotion and
Right.
interpersonal connection. I can definitely see the hesitancy about, like, well, let's just leave it up to these data analytics and some server somewhere to pick who my next date potential love of my life could be. There's so much more involved with that, especially on the emotional spectrum.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. So about that organic approach. because we so it's a recovery based platform, and so our Instagram is I think the root, right, where we're able to really dive deeper into what recovery is, um, different ideas. Like I mentioned earlier, building relationships, communication, sobriety, health and wellness, sex education. So look, a lot of people on Instagram and all of that, they buy their likes, they buy users. We don't do that. I think that it's sacred. What we have gone through is something that's sacred to us, um, and we want to better ourselves. So it is an organic. Um, the whole thing about it, man, is really grassroots in an organic way that I'm very proud of. Our Instagram does very well. We have a lot of different offshoots for different sobriety modules, but really, really, the real point is a healthier life. Be that in recovery, in relationships, in your spirituality. We just want to be able to grow, and so that's where we have found the success in what we've been doing, is that just letting the organic reach kind of grow.
Absolutely. And you must have some success stories, do you, from users or
Oh my god.
many, I
So
imagine.
yeah, last year, um I hadn't, I get the emails all the time, right? People thanking me or thanking the app, because really I don't do much, but um I get these emails all the time. Oh my god, thank you so much. What I get a lot of is, hey, can I deactivate my account because I found the person, so like I'm good now, and that's how I know, it's working. People are dating. The A local news channel did a story on us, Valentine's Day last year, and yeah, we put up a lot of like posts and comments, where people you met, they were thanking, and they were grateful for the app. So yeah, no, a lot of people are dating. It's I mean, look, I'm blown away by it because it was just this idea, really, that I, there was a lot of hope, but like with any business, with any company, you don't know. So when I started to see that flourish, man, it was just like that's what it's all about, and we're again super proud of it.
And how many countries are you in? What's your spread for being able to access the app?
Yeah, so I mean, it is worldwide. So the app, you can also use it in Spanish. So we do have a lot of users in Australia, UK, um, a lot in Canada, the States, obviously, and South America. You know, I it's you have little pockets really everywhere. But yeah, but that those that I mentioned, Australia happens to have like a good foundation there. So it's been pretty cool. That's where that's where I'm blown away by, man. Social media and its effects. It's global.
Yeah.
It is great to see, though, isn't it? That you can, like, I mean, it does. To a certain extent, social media gets a bad press, but there's definitely a lot of good things to it for
Absolutely.
like, well, like ourselves, for example. I mean, myself, Chris, and Tyler, the other guy we host the podcast with, all met through social media, through non-alcoholic drinks, and this is how we managed to connect with you. And so it's great for that.
It is. Listen, perception is everything. If you perceive social media to be something ill-willed and something that's just, you know, wrong with society, It can be, sure, if you choose to, do bad things on it. But I'll tell you what, I have nothing but good experiences on my social media. I'm my life doesn't revolve around anything bad. So I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about social media. Um, if you look at any of my accounts, everything is spiritual, sobriety driven, recovery driven. Um, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you can totally get into a lot of problems. It's really on what you're trying to do. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just that's the other thing we were saying. We're actually hoping to have this episode released for the 12th. We release episodes every Friday for the 12th of February, Chris, is that right? Which is just be
Yeah, just before Valentine's
just
Day.
before
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. It's just
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna blast it all over all of our platforms. So,
yeah,
you know,
excellent. And just
yeah.
what difficulties would people cite with not drinking and dating? Would be just is it kind of a confidence thing or
So, for a lot of people, especially now with social media, your intrapersonal relationships or the social anxiety that now we see a lot more of because of this new age. Um, you know, that's where I have found that people have the most difficulties um, when meeting someone. Because look, a lot of us are plugged up to our phones, and we're so used to texting that that one-on-one FaceTime, is kind of weird to you, and that's why we give so much advice, and we give a lot of suggestions. Amy is our sex ed guru. She comes on our IGTV on Monday nights. She has a pretty big following, and she kind of goes over these types of things because we have to be kind of vigilant, not only of our recovery, but of what other people are going through. You can't say certain things the way you used to. You gotta kind of be mindful of people's insecurities. You gotta be I mean, just period. You gotta be mindful. So, um, that is the wonderful part about the app is that it kind of takes away that anxiety. You know.
yeah? Well, you kind of automatically gets rid of, or you kind of have common ground before you
Hmm.
with whoever you
Correct.
match with. Yeah, so it's
It breaks the ice and eases the tension that you would get on a first date.
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Listen, we have a commonality, right? At the, first and foremost, we're people who have chose a different way of life, whether you're in recovery or not. If you have decided that you don't want to have a drink or a drug, you've now chosen a different way of life, and it's kind of it's kind of antisocial, anybody would say. Um, so again, there's a lot of anxiety that comes from that. But here's something else, that I want to make sure that it's clear. Just because we don't drink, just because we don't drug, that doesn't mean that we're not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like, or if I'm in recovery, a lot of people in recovery, um, they they talk about normies, people that are normal, and it kind of I don't feel too good about that because I'll tell you what, I'm pretty normal. I'm a father with 3 kids. I do whatever I want. I go on vacations. I have a good old time. I just don't drink. My set of problems may look a little different, but I'll tell you what, we all got problems. I mean,
Ain't that the
Absolutely.
truth?
Yeah, God.
so I think that I just want to take away the stigma of people that are in recovery, like we're handicapped, or because we're, again, I think that we just have a different set of problems. But it's not a problem. If you're not drinking, you're not drugging. Well, then there's no problem, right? So, you know, not only that, but we've also, if you're in recovery, you've injected in your life, a set of principles, right, that we live by. That's the whole premise behind what recovery is. We want to live a different way of life, so now we we live by these principles that make us better people. And you know, again, I'm just proud of our achievements and all of the talk, because it's buzzing. We get a lot of people that they check us out and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is available. And I'm like, yeah, I can't believe it either.
You must be the force of your coin, or the
Say that again.
you must be the force of your coin, like the force app of its coin, does it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because definitely it's as we said, we were chatting about it for a couple of weeks, and oh god, it's so when you don't drink, it is tricky to date. It's kind of it is awkward, and then God, if so, and we stumbled across the app. It was and such a brilliant idea. So we really tip our hat to you and wish you nothing
Thank
but the
you,
best.
thank you. Yeah, man. I again, I'm I'm one of these people, right? That I live in gratitude, right? Like I'm just so grateful. First, I'm grateful that that the man upstairs had mercy on me, right? He gave me a second chance at life, or well, maybe like my 15th or 20th chance. Um, but so because of the mercy, that and this new opportunity to live a different life, I'm constantly just in this gratitude feeling where I'm just grateful, man, that I'm able to do really cool things. Because something about recovery, a lot of times it's very dark, like it's tough, when you're helping a lot of people and some people just don't want it. My wife and I, we are the founders of a treatment center as well. So, we see a lot of pain, we're on the front line. We try to help as much as we can. We've devoted our lives to being servants, and so it's very there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of emotional attachment that we have. So the app is kind of the fun thing that I do in recovery. That's where I get to like sit back and just it's different. It's very different because when you think of recovery, there's a lot of doom and gloom that's surrounding it for whatever reason. um and really, apart from the miracles that happen every single day, um with the app you have just kind of the really cool taboo um subject matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just any further questions, or is that?
No,
Yeah, that,
I'm
well,
I'm blown away by
yeah,
everything that you're doing. I think it's awesome. I 100% think that this fills a major need in the industry for all the right reasons, and you're doing it for all the right reasons. So you got my utmost respect for that.
Thank you.
I'd second that. Honestly, it's been a real pleasure just chatting to you, Joaquin, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm blown away that you guys even asked me to come on here. That's super cool to me.
No, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. The minute we found the app, because we've been talking for weeks about dating, the minute we found the app, we one of us put a picture of the social media page in the screen in our group chat. We're like, God, we have to get these guys on. We have to get these guys
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, you know what, man? I I'm my head isn't too big. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always blown away when people like reach out. I'm I'm just I'm like a little kid, man, when it comes to this stuff, man. Like I'm what you guys hitting me up was like, wow, that's super cool. So thank you. And look, if there's anything that I can do to help in any way, please always reach out. If you guys ever want to talk about anything else, when it, anything recovery related or any other subject matters, man, I'm available, man. As long as I'm helping, I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm sure we'd love to have you back on and maybe down the line and chat to you again.
Awesome.
So thanks so much.